We got a hit!
How arrogant must he be to see himself as the ruler of the diet building?
Our next target's the big shot politician Masayoshi Shido. We're gonna do this, right?
Is this the final palace of the game? I mean, we gotta be coming up on the last palace sometime soon. I assume there's only one or two more. It's the alleyway from the beginning of the game. Yeah, what about Akechi?
No need to waste time with him. We just gotta hit the head.
That's... I mean, like, it is a reasonable tactic to go for the head first, but at the same time, you can't just ride off Akechi like that. He is too powerful.
Nobody against it?
Of course.
He will be a worthy opponent.
Let's win this together. Time for revenge. Then it's unanimous.
All we gotta do now is figure out what he thinks that diet building place is.
So that's the app that allowed me to enter the Metaverse.
An old fart like me can't wrap his head around all this stuff.
We'll have to deal with this before Election Day, December 18th. That means we need it done by the 17th.
It's best we hurry before they discover there's no body in the morgue.
Should we start tomorrow then? We can meet at the diet building after school.
That reminds me, what are you gonna do about school? You can't show up if you're supposed to be dead.
Miss Kawakami said he went back home for family reasons.
That's what I told the school.
Don't let him find out you're alive then, alright? This whole thing would be for nothing.
I'm definitely going out to the public to try and hang out with my confidants if I can. Just saying. But if we have to have this done before Christmas, there's definitely at least like one, maybe two more palaces after this. Because I was told the game doesn't end until April. On the in-game date.
What do you mean?
This operation had another purpose outside of escaping Akechi's clutches. Shido tried to place all the blame on the Phantom Thieves and deceive the public at the same time. He has ruined countless lives, and even made Goro Akechi, a student, assist him with assassinations. A mere change of heart is too lenient a sentence for such an abominable criminal. We'll be making use of the police statement that the leader of the Phantom Thieves committed suicide. Our leader, who is presumed dead, will come out of hiding to deliver a grand statement. He'll say he has escaped prison, not committed suicide, and was in fact almost killed by a criminal. Everyone's gonna flip.
You guys thought through all this stuff too?
We're intellectuals, you know.
Just it's funny because it's ironic.
That's why you needed such a daring trick as getting captured and appearing to be killed. What frightening teenagers.
But the true battle has only just begun. We won the first round, but we must stay on our toes.
Yeah, this ain't the time to be celebrating.
These people tried to trap and kill us. There is no end to their inhuman, conniving nature. We will need to be prepared for whatever may come our way.
I refuse these idiots could think even close to this far ahead. Rude.
I finally made it this far. It's already been 2.5 years since we met.
Oh, hey, exposition that normal people would never talk about, but, you know, they need to.
Back then, you earned the media's attention as a young politician who could rise up against bureaucracy. Because of that, those who wanted to preemptively deal with problems tried to tie you up in scandal.
To think I would fall for the ruse schemed by those decrepit fools in power. I recall that's when you came to me. You promoted yourself saying you had special powers. If it wasn't for the research on cognition that I dabbled in, I would have thought you insane.
Back in my day, teenagers simply hung out at the mall and listened to bad music, not staged political takedowns. How the times have changed. Also, wait a second. You're telling me that Akechi had the power to go into the Metaverse before knowing about Wakaba's research. I thought that you took Wakaba's research and then recruited Akechi and gave him the power to work for you. Not that Akechi already had the power and then he came to you. Ooh, interesting.
I made those troublesome opponents psychotic and erased any trace of that scandal.
Who'd think that tampering with a person's heart could trigger a psychotic lapse or mental shutdown? And when someone like that said he'd support me, I had suspected there'd be an ulterior motive.
It's because I sympathized with your aspiring ideology. I believed that your ideals needed to be achieved for the sake of the country's future.
Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I only need you using that power. It'd be troublesome if someone else uncovered how it works.
Wakaba Ishiki, was it? That researcher. She wouldn't have had to die if she just complied.
Any suspicions should be snubbed out. Even the smallest doubt must be severed at the root. After all, we had an active public prosecutor's office director on our side, until recently.
Astounding, isn't it? To think the director himself often forged evidence to secure his promotion. He was quite surprised when you confronted him about it. He didn't know who leaked that information. Well, I got that out of his shadow, so technically speaking, he did it himself.
This country's affairs have become stagnant. The political world is filled with old men who only act to preserve their own vested interests.
Yes, hello, this is politics? Have you heard of it?
The general public has forsaken such political affairs and don't even bother. Only ruin awaits us.
I must agree.
There's no need to be ruined along with such incompetent fools. I will lead this country to its revival. Those who get in the way must be eliminated at times. That's the correct way to use the Metaverse.
Still, it would stand out if there were continuous deaths and scandals with your political rivals. Which is why I made them suspects. Prosecute the targets that I turn psychotic, and solve them as cases unrelated to you. And thus, the charismatic ace detective was born.
Thanks to your efforts, my clean image remains untarnished, and I've monopolized public opinion. Once I gained public sentiment, collaborators from all sectors began approaching me on their own. The police were no exception. With their management in my pocket, keeping them in check was easy.
When the Phantom Thieves emerged, I thought things might become somewhat troublesome.
Why on earth are you two even having this conversation?
And they were just brats once we looked into it. All we needed to do was lay the blame on them.
When you told me that, I knew then that you were the better man.
Their popularity was a bit beyond my expectations, but flipping it made the negative press stronger. After that, all I had to do was openly berate them. I've been gaining more supporters since. The current administration is dead with ongoing scandals. Never mind the fact that they're my doing. Even the government parties have begun splitting up, and they're dissolving just as planned. The time has finally come. Just a little more, and I will take the seat of Prime Minister. However, inauguration isn't my goal. That's when everything truly begins. I'll make this country rich for the sake of its selfish and ignorant masses who can only rely on others.
In other words, you're creating a powerful country that can compete with the world.
The public resonates with my ideals and follows me. And for that, some sacrifices can't be avoided. That is my duty as the chosen one. Your assistance has been very influential in making my plans proceed smoothly. When I become Prime Minister, I'll grant whatever wish you want.
With this most recent case, my name has become known across the country, perhaps even the world. Surely my story will be passed down as a hero who won against monsters that could control people's hearts. I believe I'll lay low and devote myself to my studies.
I suppose with your age, you wouldn't come up with debauched desires.
I am thinking about the future, though.
Okay. Are we finally done with cutscenes? Almost.
Guess you won't be going to school for a while.
Hooray! Anime marathon time.
Don't worry about it. This'll be a breeze compared to what we've had to face so far. And we'll have all the time to come up with the plans together. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care what happens to Shido, one way or the other. But when I consider the fact that he's your enemy, I naturally think he's my enemy as well. I'm going to stay with you until the very end.
Okay. They should have given me rank 10 right there, I feel like. But apparently I have to wait even longer.
Well,
looks like things have finally settled down. Life's gonna get real busy for you starting tomorrow, right? Get some rest.
Well then.
Chief's right, let's hit the hay. Oh! Oh, finally! Finally! Oh! Chat, I have got to use the restroom. My goodness, I will be right back in just a second, and then we will continue on with probably even more cutscenes. Oh man, you have no idea how relieved I feel. Holy cow, that was rough. Sorry, Twitch and YouTube. Can I leave? I'm gonna go outside. No! Curse you, cat. Alright, coffee daddy?
yeah.
Oh, by the way, the police report on your death isn't gonna show up at your school. No need to worry. Seems Prosecutor Nijimo worked out some kind of deal with the higher-ups or something. I mean, they haven't even said anything to me. As long as you stay quiet, you'll be fine. And I guess if they reported your death now, they'd basically be saying you were a Phantom Thief. They can't really go announcing what the Phantom Thieves are, so I'm sure they'll avoid that. Sick. Cat?
Well,
That reminds me, your relationship with Akechi unexpectedly grew stronger, didn't it? Even though Akechi was talking to the fake you at the time. Yeah, that makes no sense. Akechi met the cognitive you in the palace. I don't know what he said to that version of you in there, but we should make use of this. And if nothing else, it shows our operation was a smashing success. Sure. Hi, Futaba. Remember how I hijacked your phone during the school trip? Kinda came in handy. How so? Well, remember how I put that wiretap app in Akechi's phone? Basically, that let me see GPS info for 2 phones, yours and his. Now, what could I do with that info? I'd be able to tell the precise moment Sai Najima, who had your phone, ran into Akechi. That's when I saw my chance and beep, sent the signal to activate the Metaverse Navigator. But there is the chance they just passed each other without saying a single words. That's why we needed you to tell Sai Najima to show the phone to Akechi. This plan still surprises me no matter how many times I hear it. Yeah, it's all very circumstantial and happened to work out. Still, I couldn't just directly hack into the Metaverse Nav. It's a mysterious app after all. But you know how it has that bookmark function? All you have to do is push the button. Making the phone think he was pushing that button was totally doable. Pretty good, huh? Indeed. Daily versus question, Link versus Robin from Teen Titans. Who would win? I don't know about Robin from the Teen Titans cartoon specifically, but Robin in general probably beats Link because Robin and Batman have to deal with superpowered freaks all the time and they come out on top. And Link isn't even really, he like has otherworldly powers, but not like as intense as some of the supervillains and superheroes Robin and Batman go up against. So I think Robin would probably come out on top. How much prep time does Robin get? I guess I'll head home. Go to bed, all right? Yeah. We gonna go to the Velvet Room? No Velvet Room? Okay. 3% rating. I can't wait for this to bump back up to like 103. What a sore loser! What a sore loser. Apparently Akechi arrested the leader of the Phantom Thieves. He's a hero. I'm so glad Akechi's back. I hope they can catch the rest of the Phantom Thieves too. He really is amazing. Sumash! Thank you for the bits, Araya. By the way, I'm really not a fan of Akechi being the villain, being the perpetrator. I'm really like, I'm really disappointed that Akechi turned out to be the traitor, because they started the game off with being like, someone betrayed you and all that. You better be thinking about this for the entire game. And then you're just like, ooh, you know, maybe Makoto slips up or something. Or, you know, Yusuke's been acting kind of weird lately. But then at the end, they're just like, hey, look, Akechi's here. You know, the guy who's most obviously surely going to be the traitor. And you're like, really? You're really just gonna make it be Akechi, huh? Just the most obvious person it could ever possibly be. It's just gonna be him. There's not gonna be any intrigue or twist to this at all, despite having you kind of set it up to be like that at the very start. And then lo and behold, that's exactly how they did it. I also really don't like Akechi's turn of like actually just being a homicidal maniac, because I did really like Akechi's character. And I enjoyed going through the palace with him. I liked him as a character. And then they were just like, psych, actually, he's not that interesting at all. He's just very evil for some reason. So, you know, I'm kind of disappointed, because I really would have loved to have seen Akechi be a part of the team and go further in the game from here. But instead, he's just the villain now. But it's, yeah. I have definitely watched anime that were not overly obvious, Araya. And just, even if it is like a common thing for stuff like this to be a little too obvious, that doesn't mean I have to like it or that it gets a pass. It still can be criticized for having done a bad decision. Chaos to the interesting traitor plot event. Look how they massacred my boy. But anyways. All I'm going to say is I'm a little disappointed in the game. Maybe something else will happen that will turn my mind around. Hello. But as of now, at least, I'm pretty disappointed. All right, Araya, you're just being ridiculous. Honestly, that's just ridiculous, dude. To just write it off and be like, well, that's just something that happens in anime sometimes. It doesn't happen like that in all anime, and that doesn't mean that it's free of criticism or anything. There's no point in even having an election. Shido's gonna win. Of course, he's the only reliable politician there is. Plus, the current government has been getting wrapped up in scandal after scandal. Even more importantly, there's just an aura about him, like he can fix whatever problems we have. Honestly, it doesn't really matter to me who does it. I just want to see our society back on track. Especially after it turned out those Phantom Thieves were nothing more than scum in the end. We'll show you. Yeah, just say that out loud, Ryuji. Good plan, good plan. Classic Ryuji. Oh, that's right, I don't have to go to school. I heard you went home, so I announced it during homeroom. Are you okay? What is this? Who is going to say this? I am, thanks. You're alive. The news is reporting you committed suicide. Call me when you can. I was so confused. But as long as you're safe, don't worry about school. Just take care of yourself. Ah, what a good friend. Say it, please. Haha. I like Kawakami. I don't want to be a dick. Is it true that the leader of the Phantom Thieves died, and then Akira mysteriously isn't at school? How could the police let him commit suicide in jail? They need to get their crap together. What's the point in not having to go to school if I still have to watch the school cutscenes? Quiet down, you're in class. Break's been over for quite some time now. I swear you're like monkeys in the zoo. You can't say that about your students! Huh? Oh yeah. I received word from Kurusu's family that he'll be absent for a bit. What do you people think school is, anyway? It's almost time.